everyone. Welcome back to Limitless Live. I'm Olga Binyaminov, owner of Exceed Learning Center, and today we're continuing the Character Development Month. I want to talk about something that's so important as your character develops throughout life, because everything we talked about, your identity, your discipline, the way you lead and your leadership skills, as well as your emotional control, are all of the things that are getting tested in adversity. So let me ask you that. Who are you when life actually gets hard? Not when things are working, not when you feel good, but actually when things fall apart. When people disappoint you, when situations don't actually go the way you want them to go. That moment reveals everything about who you are, your character, and what you are showing. Pressure doesn't actually break you. Pressure reveals your true character. It reveals who you truly are. And if there's strength inside of you, it shows under pressure. If there is instability inside of you, it would also show under pressure. And if there's emotional reactivity, it will show as well. And this is why adversity is really not your enemy. It's your mirror. It shows you who you are, where you are, and where you still need to grow. So let's define something very powerful. We talked about emotional intelligence in March. Emotional intelligence is when you are able to deal with certain situations. So emotional resilience is the ability to stay grounded even when everything around you just collapses. So it doesn't mean that you don't need to feel the pain. It doesn't mean that you don't feel the stress or you don't feel any emotions. It just means that you don't lose yourself when you have all of these feelings and emotions. Because most people get very overwhelmed, so then they get reactive and then they get stuck. But what do resilient people do? They still feel it, but they still lead themselves through that adversity, through that difficult situation. I want to cover once again, and I know we've covered it before, but it really ties into this topic, reacting versus responding. Because when adversity actually hits, we have two options. The first option is to react. And the reaction is being emotional, impulsive. It gives us temporary relief, but it has long-term consequences. Now, on the other hand, response, it's more intentional. It's more grounded. You take time to align whatever that response is with your values. And that is what builds your character. Because reaction is very easy. But responding is power. Because responding actually requires your awareness, your control, and most importantly, your maturity. And that's exactly what we're building this month as we talk about character. Life will not always be calm, and we all know that. There will be chaos. There will be unexpected problems. You will have emotional situations. And of course, uncertainty. The goal is not to control your life. The goal is to control yourself when life is just the way it should be. When life just happens. Because strong character stays grounded when everything is chaotic. When other people panic, the strong character individual will stay steady. When other people react, you stay calm. When other people lose control, you stay centered. And this is the power I'm talking about. So pain is inevitable. But what would you do with that pain is actually a choice. You can let the pain make you bitter, make you closed, make you reactive, and even resentful. Or you can let it make you stronger, much wiser, more grounded, and more intentional. So the real question is, what is this experience doing to me? You should always ask yourself, what am I choosing to become through this situation, as difficult as that situation might be? And if we take it to real life scenario, ask yourself, what situation in my life right now is challenging me the most? And once you figure what that is, ask yourself, how am I currently handling it? Am I reacting? Am I avoiding? Or am I just simply getting overwhelmed? Now, here's where the shift happens. What would the strongest, most grounded version of me do in this scenario? And that's the real question you should be asking yourself. When you're dealing with a difficult situation, first identify, how do you react? Because without identifying the type of response that you have during that adversity, you won't be able to know whether it's something that help you grow or doesn't. So first, really identify, are you prone to respond, react, avoid, or simply just getting very overwhelmed? Once this is identified, ask yourself, what would help me right now? Because slowing down instead of reacting might give you a little bit moment of center so you can figure out what the next step would be. You can also respond with clarity instead of responding with emotions. A lot of us respond emotionally, and only then we start thinking about what we said, what we did, which may actually cause other consequences. So instead of doing that, just take a moment. Be clear on what exactly is happening, and then respond from clarity. Stay steady instead of spiraling. Spiraling is a big thing. You feed yourself other things, other thoughts. You tell yourself that maybe this will happen. Stop. Center yourself. Stay steady. And then, when you are clear on the situation, make a decision of the next step. So this week, I really want to challenge you. When you have moments of pressure, choose stability. Even if it's just one time. Because that one moment actually changes your identity. And I want you to start seeing yourself differently. Not as someone who is dealing with stress, right? As we all say, I'm dealing with that. But as someone who stands strong in any situation. I want you to say to yourself, when you're dealing with adversity, with difficulty, with stress, say, I am grounded. Say, I am stable. And respond with strength, because you grow through these challenges. Because emotional strength, it is something that built in the moment that you want to lose control, but you actually don't. And that's your strength. Now let me leave you with this. Life will test you again and again. And every time it tests you, you have a choice. Fall into your old patterns or rise into a higher version of yourself. Because character is not built in comfort. It is what is built when you have adversity, when you have difficulties, when you have challenges, when you are under pressure. You do not become strong when life is easy. You only become strong when you choose who you are in the middle of a storm. that you're going through. I hope that helps you, because next week I really want to sum it all up, and we're going to talk about becoming the unshakable individual, living a life of a character every single day with integration, with standards, and with your identity. I hope you can join me again next week and work this week through focusing on that moment, relaxing for a second, and think before you react. I'll see you again next week.